Good morning, colleagues. Thank you. Thanks, Benno. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to everyone who's joining us in this room and virtually. It is with great honor and privilege to have you all in this press briefing, and Malta delighted to kick off February as the President of the Security Council. We have here with us the Permanent Representative of Malta to the UN, Ambassador Vanessa Frazier, who will take us through this month's program of work, as well as the political coordinator, Mr. Darren Camilleri. As usual, we will start with the Ambassador's remark, which will then be followed by the Q&A. And without further delay, I give the floor to Ambassador Frazier for the initial remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for accepting the invitation to this press conference. It is my pleasure to be with you today to present our program of work. Throughout our campaign, we have always stated that we intend to be open and transparent with the wider UN membership, UN bodies and agencies, regional organizations, civil society, and the press. We look forward to establishing a regular channel of communications with you. We are honored to be back on the Council after 40 years and look forward to our tenure. This month, Malta has the honor and responsibility to hold the presidency of the Security Council, and we will be committed to contributing to an effective and efficient Council. We will also be engaging with all countries that are on the Council's agenda during our presidency in order to listen to their views and perspectives. Civil society has a key role to play in informing Council members about the situation on the ground and the daily challenges that the local population is facing when living in conflict-afflicted countries. Malta will therefore aim to invite civil society briefers to the Council on a regular basis. We will implement the shared commitments on women, peace and security by bringing a gender perspective into relevant Security Council agenda items, by ensuring a strong representation of diverse women civil society briefers in Council meetings, and supporting their safe participation. We will have 2 signature events during our presidency, and I would like to give you more information on this before I move on to the rest of the program. We will hold a briefing on children in armed conflict with a focus on prevention on 13th February. We will underscore the importance of preventative measures from violence, which requires a strategic and proactive approach at community, national, sub-regional, and regional level, addressing all the risks. SRSG Gamba and SRSG Mijid will be briefing the Council, and we are also looking into having a civil society briefer. A summary of the meeting will be distributed as an outcome of the session. This meeting will be held the day after the Red Hand Day, the International Day Against the Use of Child Soldiers. I take this opportunity to invite you all to send strong messages via your social media on that day. On 14th February, our Foreign Minister, the Honourable Dr. Ian Borge, will be in New York to chair the high-level open debate entitled Sea Level Rise, Implications for International Peace and Security, with the aim of highlighting the risks to international peace and security posed by sea level rise, and explore ways how the Security Council can address these risks in the global security architecture and invest in preventative mechanisms. We will look at how ocean-related climate security risks are a daily reality for many countries and peoples, and especially island nations and coastal regions, particularly SIDS. This debate will also discuss these from a gender lens, as women and girls are often disproportionately impacted by the threats. Secretary General Guterres and President of the General Assembly, the International Law Commission, and civil society representatives will brief the Council. Other mandated meetings this month will include meetings on Libya, the Middle East, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Somalia, MINUSCA, and threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts. With regard to the meeting on Somalia, we intend to bring a WPS focus to this meeting. We will look at achievements and challenges in implementing the WPS-focused elements of UNSOM's mandate and recommendations from the strategic review, particularly in relation to sexual violence and conflict. For this meeting, we plan to convene a dedicated WPS press stakeout. Our Foreign Minister will then be back in New York on 22nd February and will therefore be chairing the meetings we have on 23rd and 24th February. The early briefing on cooperation between the UN and the EU, during which High Representative, High Rep and Vice President of the EU, Borrell, will be briefing the Council. And a debate to commemorate the first anniversary since the start of the war in Ukraine will be held on the 24th of February. I thank you once again for joining us, and I'm happy to take any questions.
So as tradition dictates, we'll start with Valeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ambassador, for this press conference on behalf of ANCA, and we wish you the best of luck on this busy month. Valeria Robecco from ANSA News Agency. My question is on the meeting on the 24th for the anniversary of the first anniversary of the war in Ukraine. Can you give us a little bit more details? Which kind of ministerial attendance do you expect for the meeting? Do you expect that in the previous days, you can have like a political presence from Ukraine, President Zelensky maybe, or the foreign minister? If you can like give us more details on this issue. Thank you so much.
So the 24th of February is, we have listed it as a debate. It's a high-level ministerial debate. Our foreign minister will chair the meeting. We expect to have ministers of other Security Council member states there present for this debate. We cannot confirm yet whether all will be there or not, but we expect there to be many ministers for the event. With regards to what is ongoing in the rest of the UN and any high-level political presence from Ukraine, I cannot really answer because it's a question for the Ukrainian permanent representative more than for me. Clearly, Ukraine will be under Rule 37, one of the countries that will be allowed to speak in our debates, and we still are not aware at what level it would be. It's quite early. These are things, even for security reasons, that we will know only closer to the day.
Benno?
Thank you. Here. Benno Schwinghammer with the German press agency. Congratulations, first of all, for assuming the role of the presidency. And a follow-up to the session on the 24th. Did you take a final decision which other countries than the council members will be allowed to speak?
Again, I don't think we need to take a decision this early. We will receive requests from countries closer to the date, and a decision will be taken as normal, usually on the eve or a couple of days before.
So I'm asking that because your position so far was just to let the neighboring countries speak. And there are some countries who might want to speak who are not neighboring countries.
There's a lot of information and misinformation going about this meeting. The meeting will be a debate on Ukraine, and the decision on speakers will be taken closer to the date.
Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. Edith Lederer from the Associated Press. A follow-up on your signature event on the 14th on sea level rises. Are you expecting any kind of an outcome document from that meeting? And secondly, on Haiti, which I don't see on the agenda, but Jamaica's Prime Minister said today that his government's willing to send soldiers and police officers to Haiti as part of a proposed multinational security assistance deployment. Has the Security Council received notification about this, and have you received notification from any other countries that would be interested in participating in a multinational force. Thank you.
So I'll start with the Sea Level Rise event. Sea Level Rise for us is an issue which is very important. Apart from the fact that we ourselves are an island state, and so therefore we consider this particularly important. It also brings, through this event we are linking our heritage, our tradition in the United Nations, which is oceans and climate. Malta is one of the founding fathers of the Law of the Sea. And we were the country that also placed climate on the agenda of the General Assembly. We feel that the two issues now need to be discussed more and more. There are many island states that have adhered to a declaration where they declare that sea level rise is the #1 existential threat that they are facing. And so this briefing that we are having, we have no intended outcome from it. We simply wanted to provide the platform of an elevated platform, basically, in which to discuss this important phenomenon, which has been identified as a security threat for many countries. We will have the ILC briefing because we recognize that there is a vacuum in international law dealing with consequences of sea level rise. We also we still haven't concluded yet on the briefers, but our aim is also to have youth briefers because our intention is to look at this as an issue that we need to preserve the rights of future generations. So this is for our event on sea level rise. With regards to Haiti, we welcome very much the declaration made by Jamaica. We do not have Haiti on our program of work because, apart from our signature events, currently, as the program of work stands, you will only see reflected on it the mandated items which are due. However, we do expect that the Council will have to remain abreast of Haiti, clearly, and that there could be a meeting which will be placed on the Council. And I will, for any other topic that you will ask, I will give a blanket answer already from now that as Presidency, we feel that if a member of the Council requests a meeting, then we should add it to our program of work. We have not received yet any notification from any other countries, hopefully we will, because we understand that the multinational security force is very important and it is required on the ground in order to stabilize the situation in Haiti and protect the interests of the population.
We'll take 2 more from the floor and then we'll go hybrid.
Hi, Ambassador. This is Dezhi Xu with China Central Television. First, congratulations and wish you a successful presidency. My question is also about the meetings on Ukraine. Last month, we saw the Deputy Foreign Minister of Ukraine here talking about 2 resolutions. One is about the peace formula, and another one is about the reparation. For the peace formula, they want to push it to pass on the anniversary of this conflict. Because there's a meeting here for the Security Council, will there be a resolution there to vote? And second, we know last week there's a consultation on the situation in Palestine. Will there be any meetings on that situation? I didn't. Oh yeah, I think you have that on 20th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So with regards to UN Security Council resolution on Ukraine, no, we do not foresee. Clearly, there could be some countries that would take the initiative, but as presidency, as Malta, we do not foresee it, and as presidency, we have not received any notification of any resolution in the Council. With regards to Palestine, as you noted, Joseph, on the 20th, we have the briefing on the Middle East.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Ambassador, for this briefing. I'm Yvonne Murray from RTE, the Irish National Broadcaster. My question is about climate, following on from your comments. As you know, Ireland, while they were on the Security Council, tabled a Security Council resolution on climate security, which was then vetoed. Is that something that you're planning to pick up the baton on, climate clearly being of importance to you in your presidency?
for us, the climate security nexus is important, but we have no intention at the moment to bring out that resolution again. Currently.
Online. First would be Matthew. Matthew Schwierer, please. Okay. We'll take some questions online. So Matthew Schwierer.
Hi, good evening, Ambassador. It's Matthew Schwierer from the Times of Malta. I have a question about Malta's position on Ukraine, basically. We're seeing a growing drive to provide Ukraine with military supplies and weapons. Just today, Russia warned Israel that any weapons it sends to Ukraine may be targeted for attack. Malta is a neutral country and as such only sends medical and humanitarian aid. But as President of the UN Security Council, where does it stand on such arms shipments? Will additional weaponry help Ukraine win this war?
Hi, Matthew, and thank you for the interest shown for the Maltese press to join us here today as well. I don't know who is participating, but I thank you all. With regards to Ukraine, the question that you asked me was about the presidency position, but in reality, it's more of a national question that you asked. As a presidency, we don't have a position. Our position is to direct the work of the council according to the requests of the membership and the mandate we have ahead in front of us. So it is not the Security Council which is discussing the supplies of weapons to Ukraine. Therefore, it is not anything that we would have to face as a presidency. As you see, Malta is a neutral country, but our neutrality is defined as an active neutrality, which means that we are not, that we do not remain passive when there are aggressions to the sovereignty of any state, and we have made our positions quite clear on that. To recall that the Security Council is not the body at the United Nations that is tackling any. Will not be producing any results really on Ukraine. There was an impasse on this, and therefore let's say we passed that responsibility on to the emergency special session of the Security Council, of the General Assembly. Therefore, at Security Council level, there is really much less active work on Ukraine than one would expect in the emergency special session.
Michelle from Reuters. Michelle, Nicole. Michelle from Reuters, online. Okay, we'll go to Pamela, online. Just okay. No, nothing, Michelle. Okay, so we'll go.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Jordan Dakamse. I also work for Jordan Media. I just want to make a note. There are more than 6 meetings this month on the Arabic area, which is Libya, Iraq, Palestine, etc. And your colleague did not call one Arabic journalist to go first or second, at least. Most of the program is in Middle East. I want to welcome you in Arabic because I know you speak Arabic. I will say ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban. In 1948, there is Article 11 in Security Council Resolution number 50, issued in 1948. It states the following, that if any party violates the ceasefire agreement between Israel and the Arab countries at war at that time, the Security Council shall, did not say would or could, say shall issue or take the issue under Chapter 7. Now, it did not happen, and we are in 2023. As you see, last year, Security Council met 12 times on Palestine. There is not even one single resolution on Palestine question. This year, you're going to have a meeting on 20th, and in January, they have met 3 times. And then, what do you think you, as President of Security Council, and as a Maltese ambassador, can change and give hope to the people of Middle East who have, as you said, many wars? And then also, what is the difference between your membership of Security Council 40 years ago or 14 years ago and today? What do you think has changed? Do you think the United Nations and Security Council is effective, or it's just pacifier for the people? Thank you.
Or as we would say in Maltese, marhaba. It's a very interesting question that you pose. There is a difference, as I alluded earlier, between our role as presidency and our national role. As presidency of the Council, we can only direct the work which is mandated by the program. There is a regularly scheduled meeting on the Middle East for the 20th because it's a mandated meeting. Considering the situation in the Middle East at the moment, there might be calls from member states, like there was in January, for other meetings to be held. And as I reiterated, if there are requests for any meetings, we will place them on the program of work because we feel that this is our role as presidency. Putting on my national hat, we are very concerned about what is going on in the Middle East. We have expressed ourselves. Our position is known when it comes to the Middle East. We feel that it is important that at the moment both sides try to tone down, do not take any action which can be provocative, and to try to calm the situation if possible, so that we are able to have more dialogue when it comes to the situation. We respect Security Council resolutions. For us, those are our guidelines. And as Malta, our position is very clear. We wish to see the two-state solution with 6-7 borders. So for Malta, our position is very clear on that. With regards to what has changed, it was 40 years ago, not 14, that we were on the council. So I was alive there because I'm actually older than 40. I'm turning 54. So I was alive and I was a teenager, and we were very, very happy and proud as well then of our tenure on the Security Council. It is very... Some things haven't changed, though, it is true. But there are more conflicts now that we have to deal with in the Council since then. And I think that it is just the nature of the way our work is proceeding. The Council works basically by consensus, let's say, because, as you know, there are veto powers. And so, therefore, unless there is consensus, it is difficult to move dossiers forward. However, we have seen already in 1 month, we have had 3 unanimous votes on the Council. So when I am asked about the fragmentation or the fact that the work of the Council is stalled, I do not think it is the case. I think that the Council is moving, that it is moving perhaps cautiously. In close consultations, there are very important discussions which are held, and there's very good understanding and very good relations, and there's a very healthy debate amongst the members of the Council. I have to say that I have seen a difference, and I want to commend the Japanese presidency, who held the presidency on the month of January, because I think that they reanimated the close consultations and conducted our consultations in a way which promoted more active debate and conversation rather than reading of scripts. And I am going to try under our presidency to at least do what the Japanese did and maybe improve, because we saw a big difference in this. And it will only help for us to build more confidence between ourselves and to move the dossiers forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Madam Ambassador, a question on Syria meeting, Syria's chemical weapons. After over 100 meetings of the Security Councils, where we literally saw no progress at all on that file, finally we have a development this month, the OPCW's report that provided evidence that it is indeed the Syrian Arab Air Force that attacked with chemical weapons the village of Douma, killing tens of civilians. How do you expect this new development how are you approaching the meeting with this new development on chemical weapons right now? Is there going to be anything different, do you think, because of this development? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Certainly, this development for us is very important, and it will make the meeting under our presidency all the more vital, I think. We will be inviting the director of the OPCW to brief us. Since there is the new development, we expect that he will accept the invitation and brief the council, and therefore it should be an important meeting that we will be holding.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador. Majid Gili, Rudao Media Network. I have two questions about Middle East. The first one is about the meeting on UNAMI. One of the main issue in Iraq is the crisis between Kurdistan regional government and the Iraqi government, and now it reached another level with the cutting of budget and all that. And as it's mentioned in the Secretary General's report, there has been talks before about inviting a representative of Kurdistan regional government to talk to the council. Has there been any discussion about that during your meetings and planning consultation for this particular meeting? And my second one is about the rising tension between Iran and Israel. Right now, during this week, there has been a strike that are confirmed by the U.S. intelligence that it was by Israel against Iran. This risks, obviously, a major war in Middle East. During your consultation, was any of the members raised this issue to be discussed, dealt with at the council? And on your national capacity, what do you think about this? Thank you.
Thank you. So with regard to UNAMI, first I want to highlight that as Malta, so on a national perspective, we support the work of UNAMI. Our starting point is always to support UN processes, UN-led processes. Clearly, the situation in Iraq is not perfect, but we have to acknowledge that there has been positive progress there. We welcome the fact that the inclusion of 3 women, for example, in ministerial positions is something that needs to be acknowledged. There have been economic and political reforms. So it will be the first item that we will discuss in our program of work tomorrow, and I think it will be an important discussion that we will have. With regards to Iran and Israel, in a so as a council, we have not received any requests to discuss what has been ongoing. I would not be surprised if there would be a request for an AOB or a close consultation to discuss the ongoing situation, but there has not been. On a national level, we are also, you might be aware that the subsidiary bodies were agreed to on Monday afternoon, and Malta will have the role as JCPOA facilitator. But our position would be only to facilitate the report, which means to take note of the ongoing issues that are in Iran. However, we will be looking at the situation probably with a different lens because of this. This will be important for us. We need to follow the developments, and it is not something new. We know that there is this contentious relationship between Israel and Iran, which has been ongoing for a few years. But certainly in the greater context of what is going on in the Middle East, we need to pay very close attention to it.
Yeah.
My name is Zahra Hojabri from IRNA. I congratulate you, Presidency. My question is, all members of the Security Council consider the JCPOA to be the best international agreement. But due to the internal events in Iran, the focus of your Western countries was on these unrest. And the negotiation to revive the JCPOA are off the agenda. Given that the Biden administration has emphasized that the diplomacy is always the best solution to solve the problems, what's your advice and your solution to Western countries, especially the European colleagues, to resume negotiation on JCPOA revival?
I'm assuming that I'm being asked as Malta, this question, in the national capacity, so I will reply in the national capacity. The situation in Iran and what is going on with the women is something which is of grave concern, and it is not acceptable. And we have made our position known on this, and the situation really needs to be rectified. And I think even though we believe, and we absolutely agree with President Biden, that diplomacy is the best solution, however, there currently is not the appetite for any diplomacy when this unrest and this persecution of women is ongoing. Therefore, in order to allow the diplomatic process to proceed, the situation in Iran needs to stabilize. Thank you.